Thank you, Lewis. Thank you for apologizing for me. That helped me. And I was going to thank Isaac for talking about bacon, but I guess he left. Bacon just reminded me of being at home. I'm from the South, and at home we call that meat candy, right? Are you guys having a good time? Yeah, give yourselves a round of applause. You guys are a great audience. Yeah. I love it up here in Santa Barbara. It actually feels like a second home to me. I went to school up here. I went to the Kate School. Does anybody know where that is in Carpinteria? Yeah, it's such a beautiful school. I hope it's still there next year. A lot of scandal going on, in case you didn't know. And I was there actually when the scandal happened, right? So, yeah, those secrets I'll tell you after the show. So a little bit about me. I'm a single mom. I thought you guys must not be parents. You look too happy. Or else your kids are grown, right? They're out of the house, right? Yeah. Empty nest, right? I'm almost there. But maybe you guys can feel me. It's hard being a parent, right? You have to pretend to enjoy all those things your kids enjoy, right? Like kids' birthday parties, play dates, their father. But I do surprisingly well on dating apps, you guys. And I think it's because my profile says that I don't want kids. and then they find out it's because I have 4. That's right. 4. I know it sounds like a lot, and it is, but I really love being a mom. And you know what they say about having kids? It's a lot like making pancakes. First one's kind of fucked up. Probably should have thrown it away. Ooh, it's okay to laugh at that joke. But I think having kids is a lot more like eating pancakes. You always regret having your 4th one. In case you guys were wondering, none of my pancakes like that joke. Yeah. It doesn't win you Mother of the Year. And especially my first pancake. She was so mad about this joke, you guys, that she disinvited me from her wedding. And I was devastated. I mean, I was like begging her. I was like, honey, you don't understand. You don't get redos of special days in life like weddings. Unless you're me. And then you get a couple. Yeah. It was like that. I've been married twice. As it turns out, you can actually get worse at something. Yeah. I kind of wish they gave an Academy Award for failure. I kind of wonder what my speech would be like. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for your 5 divorces and never showing me a healthy relationship. Thank you, my first husband, for leaving your clothes on the living room floor and never flushing the toilet. Thank you to my I don't know. It would go on and on. So many failures. But as a parent, you learn a lot, and it's humbling. Like, I remember the first time my 13-year-old daughter screamed at me, "You're ruining my life," right? I learned, apparently, you're not supposed to scream it back. Life lessons. And my youngest, she really craves structure and rules. And she came up to me recently, she's 11, and she told me that she wanted me to have a swear jar. And I was like, I'll pay you $20 to shut the fuck up about the swear jar. And she was like, how about 80? And I was like, I have taught you some fucking things. Oh boy. Well, the pandemic made parenting even harder. And I know it made everything harder, yes. We used to sit down to the table and say grace. Now we just say fuck it. It even made it hard with my older kids, like my 19-year-old son. I used to be like, when are you going to stop smoking weed? And now I'm like, when are you going to come home with weed? This same kid, he's so sweet. Last Mother's Day, he so proudly presented me with a joint. He was like, it is my dream to get high with you. And I was like, that's great. It's my dream to have abs, sweetie. Sometimes dreams are just dreams. Kids think they want the cool mom until you are the cool mom, and then they're like, will you please stop hitting on my friends? Oh God, there was one silver lining to the pandemic for me. I didn't have to lie to my youngest about why I didn't want to take her to Disneyland anymore. Because if you're a parent in Southern California and you don't want to go to Disneyland, you're kind of like the Grinch, right? Disneyland's like a spiritual journey for kids. That's why I used to tell her that the park was in Massachusetts. That was great until she flunked geography class. But I think the real reason that I hate Disneyland is that the rides remind me of a map of all my failed relationships. Take the Splash Mountain ride. It reminds me of all my hookups, right? Never as wet as I thought I would be. And God, I wish there weren't any pictures. And the Small World ride, God, it reminds me of divorce. It takes forever, you're in the dark, and at the end of the day, I'm just stuck with a bunch of singing children. I can still hear them, you guys. I can still hear them. It's a world of lawyers, a world of tears. It's a world of secrets and wasted years. There's so much that we shared that it's time to beware. Why did I ask for full custody? Thank you very much. Did you guys know they don't serve alcohol at Disneyland? I bet you guys do. You're veterans of Disneyland. Yeah, well, you would if you were a parent. They try to sell California Adventure as a separate theme park, you guys, but it's really just a bar for grown-ups. We would go there if there was just a tire swing and a keg. Right? It's a very long day and a lot of gift shops for kids. Thank you. That part of my set was brought to you by Knott's Berry Farm. They have booze because they only have Snoopy and candle making, as far as I know. You got to work with what you got, right? I don't know about you guys. I was going to thank Isaac for also reminding me how old I am. Thank you, Isaac, wherever you are. I'm at that age, kind of, where everything's like I'm just starting to have these little health issues, right? And it's like my age and genetics are meeting in a head-on collision, and I just don't think there are going to be any survivors. Yeah, my body is like a car now that needs all the parts recalled, right? But I'm not sure there are any replacements. But it's, there's one silver lining to this for me. It's like I can really officially now blame my mom for everything. I knew my emotional pain was her fault, and now I can blame her for my physical pain as well. It makes for an awkward Mother's Day card, because I just want to write, thanks for the genetics, bitch. But, it's really given me more empathy for her. And as you get older, I think you get more perspective, right, on your parents when you are a parent. And I remember when I was younger, I used to confront her about things she'd said to me. Like, she used to regularly call me a waste of oxygen. And yeah, you can feel sorry for me. I'll appreciate it. And then when I would confront her, she'd act like she didn't remember. I thought she was just gaslighting me. But now that I'm a parent and my kids confront me about things I've said, I'm like, what's your name again? Yeah, kids always think you have a favorite, right? And I'm like, no, there's no favorite. I love all my children. I don't like any of them. They don't like that joke either, in case you're wondering. You know what? I kind of like it though, because now my own kids are getting older. They see me as like a full human being and flaws and all. And at first I thought that was really scary, but it's not so bad. It's kind of like when someone you're dating sees you without makeup for the first time, and then he's like, wow, this is worse than I thought it would be. Oh gosh. But I think it is true that kids really do rebel against from things you've done. So I've had all these terrible relationships. So now all of my children are in really serious monogamous relationships. Even my 11-year-old. I'm like, it is too soon. You guys, it's with an American Girl doll, right? But also I'm like, will you please invite me to the wedding? I'm dying to go to one of those weddings. My kids hate that I do comedy. I think the only thing worse for them would be if I did porn. But I'm like, you know what? Maybe if I did porn, then I would have the money to pay for all their therapy. Being a single mom, I found sometimes, and maybe this is true for all parents, that it's our job to embarrass our kids. Because sometimes if you're not embarrassing them, you're just not protecting them from things. That's why when my sons were at the age when I knew they were watching porn, which in case you're wondering, that's like when they suddenly love showers. Yeah, and there are no tissues in your house, right? I knew you were a fan of jerking off back there. I see you. Your mom was like, where are all the tissues, right? I see you. Yeah, that time in your son's life. At that age, I would make each of my sons go to Rite Aid and buy condoms with me. Because A, if you can buy condoms with your mom, you'll never be embarrassed to buy them. And B, I needed condoms. It worked, I think. They thanked me, and I don't have any grandchildren that I know of, right? But I got this proactive, I think, because that first pancake, my oldest, when she was a teenager, I walked in on her having sex with her boyfriend. And I didn't even know she knew what sex was, you guys. I was shocked, let alone reverse cowgirl. I was like, damn, the apple does not fall far from the tree. Right? Oh gosh, as I mentioned before, I've been married twice, the thing you can actually get worse at. But it wasn't entirely my fault, you guys. My last husband had mental health issues and wouldn't treat them. And being with someone who's bipolar is kind of like being on a roller coaster that never fucks you. Yeah. But at the end of that marriage, I was willing to do anything to try to save it. I learned to cook. I went to therapy. I even took a class on how to give a great blowjob. Yeah. And it's not that I learned anything that technical, but I did learn that the secret to giving a great blowjob is pretending you like doing it. I guess it was more of an acting class. We're good actresses, aren't we, ladies? Thank you for hanging in here with me tonight. I am working on a lot of new material. Thank you. And I'm not sure that they're jokes yet, but you guys are incredible. So we're going to go a little farther, if you don't mind. My girlfriends and I talk about something we call the divorce diet. When one of us gets divorced, we lose 10 pounds, we look and feel so much better. But, I don't think the same is true for men. After a divorce, they seem so sad. And I think it's because they don't get the same emotional support from their guy friends that women do. I mean, I can't see guys sitting around like going, bro, she was totally dimming your light. Let's go on a cleanse and take a pole dancing class. Dude, it is so enlightening. Yeah, I can't see that. When I started dating again this last time, I was just totally shocked by all the unsolicited dick pics. But actually, I really like them. I mean, they don't turn me on, but they do cheer me up. And ladies, I have seen some really creative ones. I have seen dicks photographed next to wine bottles and salad tongs. But by far my favorite was a dick photographed next to a bottle of Lysol. I was like, ooh, big and clean. And that was pre-COVID. This guy was way ahead of his time. But you know what? It goes both ways. I mean, the audacity of guys these days. They will ask you to send them just about anything. And if you don't, they will find someone who will. I mean, it starts out with an innocent, cute selfie and ends with a clip pic and your social security number. Modern mistakes. It's just awful. I have some good news for all you guys out there. There is new research that came out this summer that there is a phenomena called summer penis. That men's penises are actually scientifically proven to be larger in the summer, right? The heat's good for something, right, guys? Now, this is research only men would fund, I think, right? I mean, I can't see them investing in research on a winter dick, right? I don't think that's the Christmas package any of us were looking for. Or January Johnson. And you know, what would we women invest in research on, like fall tits? You know, because we're so dumb we keep falling for bad pickup lines. No, I just can't see it. But you guys can take that one to the bank and thank me. Summer penis is a real thing. That's my little bit of current affairs. So did you guys know in the Chinese calendar it's year of the tiger? I mean cougar. That's right. I do like dating younger guys. Yeah, they're a lot of fun. But you always know there's an expiration date, right? Because they're bound to say something insensitive, do something stupid, get grounded. And people always think you date younger guys and it's all about sex, and it is all about sex. But we do teach each other a lot, right? Like he's taught me what DTR means, which means define the relationship, like in text language, and I've taught him that women can have commitment issues. Yeah. Even at my age, go figure, right? But we did meet the old-fashioned way, you guys. Drunk at a bar while I was out with one of his friends. Yeah. I think to me, it signals the end of COVID, so hooray for that. Whatever works, right? But you know what? One of my girlfriends was like, is he your boyfriend? Are you going steady? I'm like, is this the 50s? Jesus Christ, I'm too old for that. He's my fuckboy. What do you think? Right? Sorry. But you know what? Recently, I guess I'll call him my boyfriend now that I've called him a fuckboy, right? He's here. You guys can buy him a drink. He's looking sad over there. He saw me cry for the first time recently, you guys, and we both learned a lot. Like he learned I'm really emotional, and I learned that he's not my boyfriend. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. So I've been doing a lot of self-work lately. Not really. I just wanted to see what it felt like to say that, right? This is where we're going to go deep, you guys. So a couple of years ago, not unlike a lot of women, I was sexually assaulted. And I say sexually assaulted instead of rape because it's kind of like how you say, beef carpaccio instead of raw dead cow. It's just easier to swallow. But I do feel like, despite that the Me Too movement has had an effect on guys. I was with a guy the other night, and he kept asking me for consent. I just wish he'd done it before he was inside of me. I know, it's rough to take. I've been trying to work on talking about these things where people feel okay laughing about it. Thank you guys for trying. Because, it's funny, I feel like, from this experience, I have a little bit of PTSD and trauma to work through, and I feel like people throw the word trauma around, like, just about everything. And, the other day I was like, to my youngest, I was like, Sadie, you are not traumatized because I won't buy you a Starbucks. You're traumatized because your parents are divorced. She didn't like that very much either. So I live in LA, even though I went to school up here, and when you're in Southern California long enough and you're dating, you're bound to hit a bunch of snags. And by that, I mean super new age guys, right? Back me up, please, young ladies. Because, it's like that guy in your yoga class with the man bun and the Om tattoo and the crystal bracelet, right? The best thing about dating these guys is borrowing their jewelry. And I've heard they're fun to cry and masturbate with. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? I have to admit, being in Southern California so long, I'm a little bit new agey. Anybody a little bit new agey? Yeah. But I'm also practical, right? So I have crystals for my anxiety, and I take Xanax. I got my house feng shui, just in case it worked, and I take Xanax. I also have just a ton of Buddhas in my house. I mean, people just keep giving them to me, just like STDs. Oh. It's better than monkeypox, you know that. Oh gosh, yeah. That was another silver lining for COVID for me, is it gave me an excuse to give up on dating apps because I really didn't want to worry about COVID and herpes at the same time. It seemed like a lot, you guys, a whole lot. Because I really hate dating apps. I mean, they have turned people into the equivalent of fast food. They're not good for you, but they're hot and available right now. Like this one guy I dated. He was just like Chick-fil-A. Warm, delicious, but my gay friends were not having it. And this other guy, I mean, he was just like Subway. A foot long, but kind of weird with my kid. And the last guy, I mean, he was truly a happy meal. He left a smile on my face. But the toy was the best part. Hate to break it to you guys, it always is. Oh no. So that's where I would normally end my set, you guys. But I have one more joke that I wanted to tell you because Isaac brought up so much bacon, and which, as I told you, reminded me from the South. And I am from the South. My family's kind of like a Southern Gothic version of the family in Dynasty, but set in Memphis, right? If you can imagine, it's very functional. Not. When I still lived in Memphis, I have to backtrack a second. One thing you learn as a Southern woman is how to recognize backhanded compliments. I mean, we're raised with them. It's like second nature. So when I still lived in Memphis, and I remember I'd go to the grocery store about 11 o'clock and run into a dear friend, someone I'd known since kindergarten. She'd be like, "Margaret, it's so good to see you up so early." For a drunk. And I'd laugh it off, and then I'd sleep with her husband. And mothers in the South are masters of it too. I mean, you have to, it's tricky. When your mom gives you a compliment, they're like, "Oh, Margaret, you look so good in that dress. Did you borrow your sister's maternity dress? You really fill it out." Oh gosh, yeah, ouch, yeah. Yeah, that's probably why I do stand up. My family hates that I do stand up, not just my kids. My dad actually told me that my comedy was disgusting. Yes, and this is the same man who tells the same shitty racist joke every year at every party, at every holiday. And I can't even tell it because I'd have to bleep out every word to not get canceled. But I think what people don't understand, or families don't understand, is doing stand-up is like emotional skydiving, right? It's the only thing you do when you tell your friends, they're like, "Oh my God, you're so brave." And then what they really mean is, "You're so crazy." So I'm on the wrong side of 30 and 40. Yeah. But when you get to be my age, you learn a lot of things. Like, I know the best pickup line for a woman over 40. "Let me see your ID." That's how I ended up sleeping with 6 cashiers from Trader Joe's. You gotta love a man in a Hawaiian shirt. I think I'll leave you guys with that. I'm Maggie Hyde. Thank you very much.